sergeant. 121 promotes a police officer to the rank of sergeant. And 122 promotes police officer to the rank of lieutenant. Does anybody wish to be heard on these three resolutions? Not seeing anybody. Julie, can you call the three resolutions?
Sure.
Oh, we will. Let's do in this. We're going to do the
Resolution 120.
The squads here.
That's ready. Promotes a police officer to the rank of sergeant. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
And it's with my pleasure that I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted. Resolution 121.
Promotes a police officer to the rank of sergeant. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
And again, it's with my pleasure that I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 122.
And it's with my pleasure that I bring this resolution, promotes a sergeant to the rank of lieutenant. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted.
Okay, so we're gonna break from that. Can I have the Labor Management Committee come up first, because we're gonna do Employee of the Year first, and then we're gonna bring our new promoted police officers up with the chief to be sworn in and their families. So Labor Management, come on up. And Chief? Police chief, come on up. So who are we honoring here, guys? Are we gonna bring them up? Who's speaking on behalf of you? Oh, the tall guy? I want you to speak. Why don't we bring the officer up?
On behalf of the Labor Management Committee, each year we select the Employee of the Year. The Employee Year is selected by the town employees submit proposals on their colleagues. And they're given criteria on what to select. This year we received many proposals, but one stood out from the rest of them, and that's Police Officer Douglas Gerasi. He's the Employee of the Year. I'd like to first start with Mary Ann Tay from our purchasing department. She was one of the, she submitted one of the proposals on Officer Gerasi, and I want you to hear the story that we heard from the Labor Management Committee.
Well, of course, I have my sheet and I can't find it. The story that I wrote. The point of the whole story was Doug Gerasi is a police officer that you would want your children to approach if they needed it. He's a police officer that I remember from when I was a little girl, that you could approach. He's a wonderful human being, and it's a pleasure, my pleasure, to work with him as a fellow employee. I had a personal situation where he was called, he was one of the police officers. He is nothing but the most professional individual and one of the greatest people that I know. And I'm proud that he's a police officer with this town of Riverhead.
You exemplify what it means to be a police officer in the town of Riverhead. And for many times I've said this, you guys are the ambassadors of the town of Riverhead. You don't see the town, or you don't see the employees of the town and when you're a resident. But many times, as we've seen over the years, the residents see the police department first, and it's often when they're at their worst, when things couldn't possibly get any worse, and they may never get any worse for them, but when you guys arrive, they feel safe and they feel comforted. And to know that you're with the Riverhead Police Department is wonderful. I don't know, they must be saying you're retiring, because this is what we give out when you retire, so you might get another one when you retire. But Police Officer Gerasi, on behalf of the town board, we'd like to present you with this proclamation and the acrylic seal. Can we get your squad up there? Where's your squad? Who's from the squad? Come on, if you're from the squad, come on up. We're going to take a nice picture.
Officer Gerasi also receives one day off, an additional day off. And Officer Carrie Fenton would like to submit something from the Labor Management Committee. It's $100.
I had the honor to come on 6 months after Officer Gerasi in 1993. And during the years, many things have changed, but the one thing that has never changed is Doug's dedication to the entire town and the ability to always put everybody at ease. He makes everyone feel that they can come to him and he's going to make everything okay. So it's been an honor and a privilege to work with him, and I'm very lucky to be on the same squad with him as well as the other officers up here right now. So from the labor management, here is the $100 gift certificate and day off.
The floor is yours.
It's an honor. Thank you very much. Love being a police officer and still go. So thank you very much.
Thank you for serving.
And I'm blessed with people I work with as well.
I can tell you, you're Riverhead's gain. I'm glad you left Southampton and came here. You're certainly an asset to us here. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, so,
Just another end.
see, I had 5 minutes. Can I go? Am I dismissed?
Yes.
Bear with us, Harriet, bear with us.
If you think we can get
Hi, Chief, who would you like to bring up first?
One at a time, or
One at a time, absolutely, this is an individual honor. Sergeant Egan?
or now Lieutenant?
Lieutenant Egan, well, now you had to swear him in.
You have the bars?
Family come
You gonna
up.
bar 'em?
You wanna bring your family up, Sean?
You gonna rip the stripes off?
I mean, Lieutenant.
You gonna rip the stripes off, right?
Want the fellow come around here?
Come around back.
Go ahead.
Come on, man.
Ready, Chief? You got it at the top of the house?
I am ready. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Sean P. Egan, do solemnly swear
I, Sean P. Egan, do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
to uphold the Constitution of the State of New York,
to uphold the Constitution of the State of New York,
and to faithfully discharge the duties of lieutenant
and to faithfully discharge the duties of lieutenant
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
for the Riverhead Police Department,
for the Riverhead Police Department.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Get a pen up.
Come over, pick this hand.
I do.
Lieutenant, would you like to say something?
I'm just grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
Welcome aboard, sir.
Now, let's get those things up.
Good job.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Chief?
Congratulations, right?
What do you want to do next?
I know that.
No Jake from there.
Where's her family?
Yeah, where's, Sebastian?
We have Carrie. Carrie is plenty of.
Yeah.
Bring him up.
You might want to open some doors.
I'd be upset if you didn't come up.
brother?
Come on up, if you're related to her, come on up.
Just move down there. Come on, Scott.
Come on, come on. Let's go, come on.
Scott and Skylar, come on now, Sandy, bring all that.
There you go, oh boy.
Oh, very busy. One minute, okay?
For the open.
I don't know how you do it.
Guys, it is a big family.
What a big family. Whoa.
And we're all cops.
That's even scarier.
All set? Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Jill Kubetz, do solemnly swear
I, Jill Kubetz, do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
to uphold the Constitution of the State of New York,
to uphold the Constitution of the State of New York,
and to faithfully discharge the duties of sergeant
and to faithfully discharge the duties of sergeant
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
for the Riverhead Police Department.
for the Riverhead Police
So
Department.
help me God.
So help me God.
What number? What number is it? Come on, tell me. 34.
Let everybody know, this is the first female sergeant that this police department has ever had.
Sergeant Kubetz, would you like to say a few words?
I'm honored to have this opportunity. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Town Board. I will continue to work as hard as I have for the past 13 years, for hopefully 13 more to come.
Oh, let's hope so. Nice.
Oh, we expect more than 13.
Thank you.
Right, we'll go that way.
Hope they have some flowers they want to give you.
Give Ann some flowers. Go give Ann some flowers.
We just had food. Okay, we'll eat at home.
He deserves it. Oh, wait.
Oh, good family.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And again, Joe, congratulations.
All right, Chief, one more? Bring your family up.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, John Devereaux, do solemnly swear
I, John Devereaux, do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
to uphold the Constitution of the State of New York,
to uphold the Constitution of the State of New York,
and to faithfully discharge the duties of sergeant
to faithfully discharge the duties of sergeant
for the Riverhead Police Department
for the Riverhead Police Department
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Together up there, we all get together, you're a small family.
Mother, okay.
She's gonna
Mother can't see
Just have to let it hang there.
It's like getting married.
Everybody this way. Okay, it doesn't go in.
And I gotta get a picture with him.
35?
Look that way.
This way. First grip.
There you go.
Okay, now look here, now look at us.
Everybody's looking at us.
Sergeant Devereaux, would you like to say anything?
I'm truly honored to have this position. I look forward to the opportunity of taking on this role.
We're blessed and honored to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good. Congratulations.
All right, if you'll all just stay here for a few seconds, Harriet Haas is going to say a few words.
Again, congratulations.
All right. We're ready.
Let's go, people.
Before everybody leaves, the promotees have to go to town clerk's office tomorrow and sign the oath of office book.
So we got rid of 3.
All right, Harriet Haas is going to entertain us today. Harriet, what is it you're going to sing for us?
Well, we have a couple of songs. Before I sing the songs, this is a coincidence, really. Yesterday I asked my next door neighbor, do you think I should call the police? I had a friend that just got out of the hospital and he didn't answer his phone. And it turned out we have a happy ending here. The phone was out of order. So he was okay and I didn't need to call the police because the landlord sent somebody in there and the phone was out of order. So, but good luck to all you policemen. And last week I was listening to the radio. I put the radio on and I was listening to the announcer. And Sean came on the radio. And of course, we all know the story. The announcer, everything is terrible. Oh, the whole town is terrible. No, this isn't going to work. No, that's not going to work. Even things that have been proven to work. And then Sean said, look at all the businesses we've got here. Look at all the places that move in. So I have only one thing to say. So what is the truth here? Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible support. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. He has sounded from the trumpet that you'll never call retreat. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. And one more little song for the children.
One more little song. Hold on, one more little song.
This is for the children. We gotta entertain the children. Yankee Doodle went to town a-riding on a pony. Stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. Cousin Simon grew so bold I thought he would have cocked it. Scared me so I screamed to death and hung by father's pocket. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy.
Yes.
Hey, everybody, good luck to all the police officers.
Thank you,
Harriet, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Everybody was smiling.
right, this will carry on. Julie, you want to read the correspondence? Did we do, you did the town board meeting?
Yes, we did.
right?
Yes.
Correspondence?
We received a letter to the town board from Warren McKnight suggesting Epcal as a possible site for a Veterans Hospital. We received a letter from North Fork Environmental Council to the board regarding flyboarding statute. That's it for the correspondence.
Yes.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, we received tax receiver reports for their monthly utility collection report, January 2015. We also received the total tax collection to date as of February 4th, 2015. And we received the sewer district biosolids monitoring report for 2014. We received one application. It was from East End Hospitality LLC, special permit application for building at 300 East Main Street, Riverhead, for cabaret use. That's it.
All right, we have 3 public hearings on for tonight, so without further ado, we'll get started. I will say before I open the first one up, it's going to be continued to the next town board meeting. Mr. LaFerno, it will stay open an additional town board meeting, and it will be opened at the beginning of the very next town board meeting as a continuation of the first public hearing. So without further ado, I open the public hearing scheduled for 7:05. It is now 7:25. This is a public hearing. Will be held to hear all interested persons regarding an alleged unsafe abandoned structure at 162 Founders Path, Bating Hollow. Public notice says that this public hearing will be held before the Riverhead Town Board, Town of Riverhead, at Riverhead Town Hall, 200 Howell Avenue, Riverhead, New York, on the 18th day of February, today at 7:05. Again, it is 7:25. To hear all interested persons regarding an alleged unsafe abandoned structure located at 162 Founders Path, Bating Hollow, also known as Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-39-6-16, pursuant to Chapter 54 of the Riverhead Town Code. Bob, do we have our...
Yes, just as the supervisor indicated, I will be asking the board to keep the hearing open due to a scheduling snafu. I'd like to keep it open in order to have our town engineer, Kenneth Testa, testify with respect to observations he made regarding the structure. At this time, I would ask our town investigator, Richard Downs, however, to approach the podium and be sworn in. Any witnesses who are going to give testimony, I will ask them to be sworn in and give testimony today and this evening with respect to the issue that's at hand, whether the structure is unsafe under our Chapter 54 Town Code provisions. Mr. Downs, would you raise your right hand? Do you repeat after me? I swear that the testimony I'm about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I swear the testimony I'm about to give, the whole truth.
Nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Could you state your full name, please?
Richard Downs,
Okay. And what's your current title with the town of Riverhead?
Town Investigator,
And when were you first employed by the town of Riverhead?
May of 2000.
Okay. And what capacity or what title were you employed in May of 2000?
Ordnance Inspector.
And since May of 2000, have you received any promotions or changes in title?
Yes, I have.
And what are those, and when did those occur?
2005, I received a promotion to Ordnance Enforcement Officer. And in
Okay.
2010, I received a promotion to Town Investigator.
Now, prior to working for the town of Riverhead, were you employed by any other municipality or town?
Yeah, I was employed by the Town of Brookhaven.
And when was that?
Approximately 1999.
And in what capacity?
Public Safety Officer.
All right. And since your employment with the town of Riverhead, have you done any special training or classes of any kind?
Yes.
And what are those, and how often?
I received I'm a New York State Certified Code Enforcement Official with New York State.
Okay. And
Received-
how often do you have to attend those classes?
Every year.
Were you first certified in 2000 when you were employed?
2000, 2001.
Okay, all right. Now, with regard to the subject matter, which is today's hearing, 162 Founder's Path, Baiting Hollow, or Calverton, are you familiar with the location?
Yes, I am.
And how are you familiar with it?
Came familiar with it regarding a third-story structure. Received many complaints on the property.
Okay. And you heard the town supervisor identify it by tax map number?
Yes.
And is that the correct tax map number? 060039-616?
That's correct.
And how do you know that to be the correct tax map number?
Looked up with the Suffolk County tax book.
Okay. And who are the owners of the property?
Eugene and Doreen Laferno.
Okay. Now, did there come a time when you were at the premises on April 8th, 2013?
Yes.
Okay. And was town engineer Kenneth Testa there with you as well?
Yes.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you do while you were at the premises on April 8th, 2013?
We gained access to the house consensually, and we went through the house, and I was photographing for the town engineer, Ken Testa.
Okay. I am going to ask that this be marked as Town Exhibit 1, which is the engineer's report.
And Mr. Testa is going to come to testify.
It's only for identification at this point.
Okay, that's fine.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Downs, I'm going to ask you to take a moment, and if you can, look at that report, which is dated. I'm just going to find my copy so I can reference it. Put that piece up. Give me a second. It's on the computer. Take his time. Here it is. Okay. I apologize for the delay. Officer Downs, have you had a chance to look at the document that's before you as Town of Riverhead Exhibit 1 for identification only? And I'm going to ask you if you can look at the photographs only at this point?
Yes.
Okay. And looking at the photographs, do they fairly and accurately depict the conditions that you observed on April 8th, 2013?
Yes, they do.
Okay, and you were the one who took the photographs?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, did there come a time later in the process where you did anything further with regard to the premises?
Yes.
And when was that, and what did you do?
December 8th, I believe, was I posted a notice.
Okay. I'm going to ask that this be marked as Town of Riverhead Exhibit 2 for ID only.
Yes? Mark, Exhibit 2, please.
Officer Downs, you have Exhibit 2 in front of you. Do you recognize the document?
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
It's a notice of unsafe structure.
Okay. And you testified a few moments ago that you posted the property around December 8th?
Yes.
Okay. And Where did you post the property in particular, if you recall?
It was on a tree in front of on the premises, in front.
What, if anything else, did you do with respect to this notice dated December 8, 2014, which is Town of Riverhead Exhibit 2?
Our office performed a certified and first class mailing of a copy of this notice.
Did you also do a regular mailing?
Yes, a regular first class and certified mailing.
And what, if anything, occurred with respect to the certified mail?
The certified mail came back unclaimed.
Okay. And that certified mail, this would be the piece? that
Yes,
you
I have a
handed
copy of
earlier
it too
today?
attached.
Okay. And this is part and parcel of records that you maintain as a town investigator?
That's correct.
And you did in fact maintain this document as part of your duties as a town investigator?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna ask that this be marked into evidence.
That's fine.
Okay. Did there come a later time that you did anything with respect to the property, Investigator Downs?
Yes.
And when was that, and what did you do?
That was on February 12th.
Okay, and can you
Of
tell
this
us what
year.
you did?
I posted a notice of hearing.
Okay. I'm gonna ask that this be marked as Town of Riverhead 3 for ID.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bob, what was the date on that?
February 12th
This year.
of this year, 2015. I know I handed up a copy. Do you have an original with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm probably going to ask that the board allow me to substitute the original in.
That would be fine.
All right. Now, you've had a chance
I
to
have,
look.
can I interject?
All
I'm
right.
sorry. I have
Go
an original of the certified mailing receipt. The original copy is filed in the town clerk's office.
All right.
With the stamp.
All right, good. All right. Now, you have a chance to look at the document that is dated February 12th, 2015, Town of Riverhead Exhibit 3.
Yes.
Okay. And do you recognize that document?
Yes.
And did you prepare this document?
Yes, I did.
And was this a document that you would prepare in the usual and ordinary course of your business as a town investigator?
Yes.
And did you in fact prepare it in your usual and ordinary course as a town investigator?
Yes, I did.
And this is a record that you yourself maintained?
Yes.
And was it done on or about February 12th, 2015?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and again, just for the record, what exactly did you do with respect to this particular document, Town of Riverhead Exhibit 3?
It was posted on the property on a tree.
I'm sorry, I don't cut you short there. Where
It was
it
posted on the premises
Okay,
on a tree in front. And it was also certified mailed and first class mailed.
all right. At this time, I would like to have the other one with the certified mailing, which Mr. Downs has in his possession, and then, of course, subject to the town clerk's records also being deemed admitted into record when Mr. Testa testifies, made part of the record today and put into evidence.
That's fine.
Okay. Do you have that document with you, Mr. Downs?
Yes, I do.
I have nothing further for Mr. Downs at this time. As indicated, I'm going to have Mr. Testa come in to testify to the substance of his report and his findings with respect to same.
Okay, so what I'll do, because I think the board should reserve any questions until we reconvene with everybody next week. Mr. LaFerno, would you like to testify?
Yes.
Or,
Yes, I would.
and would you like to ask, before I dismiss Investigator Downs, would you like to ask him any questions? That's a yes or a no.
When he took those pictures,
You can't do it from right there, yes or no. You
yes,
want-
I would like to ask him to.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to invite you up to the podium.
Okay.
Officer Downs is going to step down and he will take notes of the questions and return to answer anything that he can to the best of his ability, okay? All right, so sir, if you'd step up, and Officer Downs, you have a pen and pad?
I had a couple of questions myself.
We're gonna open it back up next week.
The timeline I'm concerned.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
well, let's let him go whenever we can. Yeah, Officer Downs, you could sit at the table, you pick up at the microphone there, so you could answer the questions, okay. All right, Mr. LaFerno, we're gonna swear you in. If you could raise your right hand. You could just put that down, there you go.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
All right.
Could you state your name and address for the record, sir?
My name is Eugene Laferno.
Could you use the microphone, please?
My name is Eugene Laferno.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I live at 162 Founders Path, Baiting Hollow, and I've lived there for 34 years.
Okay.
I hired a professional engineer and a professional architect. The professional engineer's name was Thomas D. Riley. The professional architect was Robert Stromsky.
He's not offering questions. I mean, if he's going to question the witness, he's got to question the witness, not offer testimony at this point.
That's fine. You have questions for Mr. Downs?
Yes. Okay.
Let's do that first.
Mr. Downs, are you aware that a New York State certified professional engineer that constructs skyscrapers in Manhattan went into that structure and said he sees nothing wrong with it?
Could you use the microphone, please?
Is that a question?
Yeah.
He went into that structure and said there was absolutely nothing he sees wrong with it.
What he's asking you is, are you aware that?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No.
Okay. Now, are you a professional engineer for the state of New York?
No.
Thomas D. Riley is a professional engineer for the state of New York. Are you aware of that?
No.
Okay. Robert Stromsky is a professional architect certified by the state of New York. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you feel as though your qualifications are higher than theirs?
Let me just.
I'm not a professional engineer, so I don't have the qualifications that a professional engineer has.
Okay.
However, I am a certified New York State code enforcement official.
Okay. And when you took those pictures, I'm referring to the picture of that railing on top of the cupola.
I can't really see that picture from this distance.
If you
it's
could
black
bring
and
that
white.
over.
Bring it over to him, please.
I don't even. It's not a picture that I took, right?
The railing on top of the cupola. The railing, the 4-foot railing.
Okay. This railing right here.
Yes. The safety railing.
Okay, so your question is, did Mr. Downs take that, Investigator Downs take that picture? Is that the question, Mr. LaFerno?
Yes.
Okay. Investigator Downs, did you take that picture?
I have no way of telling whether I took that.
Okay, that's his answer, sir. If you could go back over.
Okay, so you can't tell. Okay. Okay. So, are you aware that railings, safety railings are not counted in height?
Mr. LaFerno, just speak
I'm going to object. Is the railing there today?
Yes, it is. That's what you call the 4th story.
What's the question, sir?
There is no 3rd and 4th story on that property. That's a cupola. The town gave me a permit to construct a cupola on the roof of 162 Founders Path. Cupolas are protected.
Sir, Is there a question in this?
Yes.
Okay.
If cupolas are protected by this height code of the town, how could you go against the town code and say that it exceeds the height and it's unsafe when it's not even a third and fourth story there? The third and fourth story, where is the third and fourth story?
Mr. LaFerno, I don't think Investigator Downs necessarily testified to those facts. That testimony will probably come in when our with the town engineer at the next board meeting. So if you could stick to the testimony of Officer Downs when you ask the questions, that would be much appreciated.
What do you call the third and fourth story?
He didn't testify to that.
I'm not testifying to the structure itself. All questions regarding the structure should properly or respectfully be deferred to the town engineer.
Right. What is the
So
issue
I'm not-
that you're concerned with?
Okay. Mr. LaFerno, I'm going to wrap this up shortly because you have to, Investigator Downs took photographs. He introduced the photographs into the record. He stated his qualifications. You discussed his qualifications. If you could limit the questions to those aspects of his testimony and the other aspects of his testimony, that would be, again, greatly appreciated.
I'm trying to ascertain exactly what he feels is wrong with the structure.
That would be one of the questions that the town engineer will be testifying to at the next board meeting.
Okay, and will my professional engineer and my architect be subpoenaed to be here as well?
I'm not going to subpoena them. You would have to bring them in, and we'll gladly take their testimony.
Okay, but how do I bring them in?
You would have to ask them to come in. They're welcome to come in. This is your opportunity to give testimony as to that structure. So if they're your engineer and your architect, I'm assuming that if you ask them to come in, they will come in, and we will take their testimony.
Okay, and supposing they are frightened to come in?
I will object, Your Honor. I mean, the board.
Yeah.
That's just out of line.
Hold on, guys. Mr. LaFerno, I don't know why they would be afraid, but they're your professionals, and you are. If they're not willing to come in, you are certainly able to bring any other professionals as well.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I'm trying to resolve this and fix this. I'm trying to continue the construction of the bigger house. That center support structure of that house is integral to the construction of the rest of the house. So that had to be constructed first to support the roof of the bigger house.
Okay, so I'm going to dismiss Officer Downs. You're done with his questioning, I'm assuming? Questioning him?
Well, I don't understand what he's calling the third and fourth.
Okay, he didn't testify to that to the town engineer. If you don't have anything further for the witness in terms of the pictures, his credentials, the things that he witnessed, that he testified to, I'm going to dismiss him.
Oh, wait.
Okay?
Is he aware that we had the permit for the cupola?
Officer Downs, do you know if there was a permit? I'll ask that question, to construct that cupola.
Well, I just want to make one thing. Although Mr. LaFerno has characterized it as a cupola, that issue is not being conceded for purposes of this hearing.
That's fine. Did he have a permit to construct what is on the roof of his house?
I don't have all the specifics, but I had an understanding that he had a permit issued. That permit was expired, and there was a stop work order issued after because he wasn't building it according with the engineer's plans, with the plans.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so you got a little extra testimony in there that you probably shouldn't have got because I asked the question. sounds to me like you built something that was not built pursuant to the building permit and the plans submitted to the town. That's what it sounds to me. So now that is here, hanging out there. You're going to have to
Now-
convince the board, or the town attorney's gonna have to convince the board one way or the other, whether that's true or not, and these are things that I think the town attorney's gonna bring in next week. We do apologize that we did not have our witness here, but we will afford you the opportunity, not next week, next board meeting. So,
Okay.
it sounds like you had a permit?
Yes, I had the permit, and it took 3 days to build the structure.
Okay.
And the permit was good for a year.
Can you show the town board how the design plans you submitted meet what you constructed? Do you have design plans,
Yes.
engineered plans for that
Yes.
cupola?
I showed the town attorney.
I'm not interested in that. The board wants to see it, so you have
Yes.
time.
I have the plan for the cupola.
Okay, so we need to see, you have that here today?
Yes, I have it here.
Okay, so let's see it.
The plan.
You want to see the approved building permit plans?
I want to see the appeal,
I have a picture of what the structure looks like today, if the board wants to see
so
that.
you have it, right?
No,
What it looks like today.
Well, what's the
But-
building
but-
department have? The building department has.
Bob, we're not gonna,
Okay.
what
so
I want,
You want the plan for the cupola?
I want to see, and I think the board wants to see,
The plan for the cupola.
the plan you submitted to the building department for the cupola. And maybe we can use the pictures that you and Officer Downs have introduced to see whether the plans that you submitted
Okay.
match what you built. Oh, take it off the microphone, please.
There you go.
No, this is exactly what.
Just back here, you wanna get this plan?
That's gonna come in next to.
Okay, who gets it? He gets it?
If you could pass it to the town attorney, that would be fine.
And what we're looking for is what he filed
What
with
he
the
filed
building
with the building
department,
department, right.
correct? What stamp,
Mr.
stamp
LaFerno,
plans?
Mr. LaFerno, if you could,
Not a picture, we don't want a picture.
and we need
It's
to,
the drawing that the building
okay,
department
we need
has.
to get the boxes off the microphone.
Oh, is the microphone on?
Yes.
Yes.
Just lift those black boxes. There you go.
Right there.
Okay,
I see it.
Okay. All right, let's see what you have. Let's see the design plans that you have submitted for your building permit.
Okay. Here's the building permit, ZB 34470.
Okay. I want to see that and the design plans for it.
Here you go. And here's the design plan for it.
The correct building. Do you have a set of stamped plans with you?
That's just a rendering.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's what we need to see what,
You want the
This
stamp
is not
plans.
stamped.
Okay, you want the stamp plans.
No, you have to take that off the microphone. There we go. There you go, that's the microphone now.
because that was done.
Here's the engineer's stamp for the state of New York.
What's the date on that, Mr. O'Connor?
It says 5/2/13.
Again, there should be a set of plans that has a Town of Riverhead Building Department stamp on them. Those are the ones.
Well, here's the one with the state of New York stamp.
I'm looking for the one that has the Town of Riverhead Building Department stamp, and it refers to that building permit, ZB 34470, which was issued in June of 2010.
Do we have the building department file?
I don't have it with me.
Make sure we-
I wasn't planning on bringing it in today. I was gonna bring it in next meeting.
Okay, make sure we have it next week.
Unless Mr. LaFerno will acknowledge that what's constructed is at odds with what he filed with the building department.
No,
That's what we're trying to get
it's,
it to the bottom of.
it's what's supposed to be there.
Well, let me ask you a question. I'll make this easier. Rather than what you are showing us, these plans that are filed by Mr. Riley, that was, and again, subject to the building department's file being produced. That plan that's there that you referred to, or what's been handed up to the board, is that what was supposed to be constructed and what was
Yes.
approved by the town board?
Yes.
Tara, can I have the projector come down for a second, please?
This is what I got the permit for, 34470.
All right.
Can I see that plan, please?
Huh?
Can I see that plan, please?
Here it is, here it is. No, leave it that one.
Julie, sorry. Yeah, this is not, well, this doesn't match what you just showed us in the picture, and this isn't stamped by the building department, so you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Mr. LaFerno. There's a picture up on the wall.
Yeah.
I took that this morning.
Uh-huh.
Is that fair and accurate of what's there today?
Yes.
That was taken from the street, from the west side, looking east,
Right, yeah,
at
and
the
that's
house.
a 4-foot railing, and that's not counted in
Simple
height.
question. Is that what's
Okay.
there today? On
Yes, yes.
February
Yes.
18th,
That's the
2015.
cupola. That's the cupola.
And it's your testimony that that is the same structure, because I'm not
Yes.
using the word cupola. I don't agree it's cupola.
Yeah,
So I'm not
but-
conceding that.
Yes, yeah, but the town did agree to it when they took the money for the permit for the cupola.
And are we-
Okay, so the town
Well,
said that I could have a cupola.
Let me
Huh?
ask the question. Is it your testimony that what's depicted in that photograph is the same as the plan you filed at the building department in June
Yes.
2010?
Yes.
So that's what Mr. LaFerno.
Okay. The safety railing doesn't need a building permit.
I'm not interested in your safety
Okay.
railing at the moment.
Where's the safety railing located?
It's what you call the fourth story.
Why don't you point to it?
Okay.
Hold
That's
on,
a
let me-
four-foot
Excuse me, Mr. LaFerno,
Hold it. I got another photograph.
please. And nobody shout from the audience, please. Okay, Mr. LaFerno, you submitted two separate things here that don't match. What I want, and what I will get for the next hearing, are the plans you submitted to the building department. And if they don't match,
Well,
you have a problem.
What do you mean I have a problem? Everything I have is what's there.
That's not what you submitted for your building permit. That's what I want.
That is what I. Stromsky
Let
submitted
me see this for a second.
a temporary one because the town wanted a
Okay,
plan.
I'm gonna help you here for a minute, Mr. LaFerno.
Okay.
I'm gonna help you here. The first thing you submitted to us was this copy of this building permit, Mr. LaFerno. Could you just look over here for a second? The first
Yeah.
thing you submitted was this,
Yeah.
the ZB 34470. And
Okay.
attached to that is something that probably does look like it's permissible, just a simple A-frame roof structure on top of your existing roof.
Yes.
And you said to us, this is what you submitted for your building permit.
Yes.
Okay. This is a far cry from that.
No, it's not. It's the same thing.
Okay. Point taken. Do you want us to keep a copy of this and mark it for identification and put it in the record?
Brad has all the copies.
That's not my question. Do you want us to keep a copy of this?
Fine. You
Mark
have
it
a
as-
copy of anything I have.
Okay, so we have a picture of Mr. Laferno on the front. I've got a for sale from a real estate broker. For sale multiple listing. I have a copy of the zoning code. I've got a copy of the face page for a building permit. And I've got a partial copy of a drawing for a cupola that will not exceed 35 feet in height, and it is a partial drawing, not a full drawing. And so what, Mr. Laferno, does the board want to look at this?
I just want to make a note that the drawing that you submitted is not sealed by an architect or engineer.
What? Yes, it is.
This one is not, the one that you claim
Yeah.
that you submitted for the building permit. That one is a more recent one of what was actually built, but,
It's showing you what's in that picture.
yeah, but
And-
this
and the
one
engineer
doesn't.
stamped it, what?
But this one doesn't.
Okay, so that's the
Yeah,
question.
because that's a smaller version of this.
Look, Mr. Laferno,
Right.
this is what you have to show. I'm going to help you here. What you have to show us is that the building permit you submitted, the plans attached to that building permit, which are stamped by an architect or an engineer,
Yes.
100%,
Yes.
100%
100%.
match
I'm looking at the New York State
that.
engineer seal.
That's not the seal I'm
on
interested
that
in.
picture.
That's not the seal I'm interested in. That's not relevant to my
What
line
seal
of
are you
questioning.
interested in?
That when you submitted your building permit application,
Yes.
you submitted drawings.
Yes.
Next meeting, I will have those drawings. Where's Jeff?
There he is.
Jeff,
Jeff.
can you get the building permit for this file, please? Right this second.
Do you have it
I have
in
a
your
feeling
office?
this is gonna go on a little while. Can you get that file?
That permit number is the correct number.
I wanna see the
Mr.
plans that were
Supervisor.
submitted.
All right.
Can you get that file for me, sir? Thank you very much. Mr. Laferno, I'm gonna get the file, okay? Is that-
Okay.
And then we're gonna take a look at it. Now, we've got, Mr. Laferno, we have two other
I got it.
Right. Okay. Now here's Mr. Stromsky's drawing of the finished mansion. Okay.
Okay,
The cupola is right on top. It comes
Okay,
out of the
Mr.
center.
Laferno,
Okay.
Mr. Laferno, what I need and what I'm trying to keep order here,
It's not that.
what I'm trying to keep order here,
Okay.
so,
Can I see that?
can we
Huh?
just,
Can I see that? Good. That's what, first you gotta have phones, and that's full of paperwork here, drawing with those phones.
And these are stamped by the.
All right, he wants to ask you a question.
Okay.
I just want to look at this, go ahead.
okay.
Okay. That's the mansion. That's the cupola up here. It holds the mansion roof up. That holds the mansion roof up, or the bigger house roof up.
Okay,
And
so,
that's why there's micro lambs in it.
okay,
And that's why the engineer, he overbuilt it, and it's not coming off.
who built it?
Huh?
Who built it?
The carpenters built it, and they followed Thomas Riley's plan. And there's all micro lambs in there because of the enormous weight of the size of the roof that's gonna go over it.
Okay, so, would you concede that if we can't show that what you submitted to the building department, would you concede that if it doesn't match, that you have a problem?
No, I don't have a problem because I'm just the person that's trying to build a bigger house. That's all I'm trying to do, is get a bigger house. I'm trying to improve my property.
Okay, all right, so let me start this again. You submitted a drawing, correct,
Yes,
to the building department?
yes.
And the
And
building...
it was for a cupola. It was for a cupola.
Okay. So now, when you take the drawing of the building that when you take the drawing that you submitted to the building department, and you take a picture of, you take that drawing and match it to the picture of the cupola, should they not match 100%? In other words, when you submitted to the building department, should that not match?
No, because any architect will tell you that the plan he's giving you is not exactly what it's going to have to deal with during the construction.
Okay, so what percentage, now you're not an architect, right?
No, but I've been through this for years now.
Okay, but
Okay.
you're not an architect or an engineer. So, so I'm gonna take this question it's not, you're not an expert.
No,
What
Mr. Stromsky and Mr. Riley are.
I would love you to get them here for me. But
How do I do that?
Okay, if we could all just focus here for a second, what percentage of the drawing from the building department that you submitted, what percentage should it match the picture of that you built? In other words, how close, how similar should the cupola you submitted to the building department match what you constructed? Give me a percentage.
I can't give you a percentage because I'm not a professional.
Okay.
But the professionals that designed it to hold the enormous weight of that larger house
I'm going to object to anything
knew
that the
what to do
engineers
with
or
that
architects.
cupola.
Okay.
It's hearsay.
Anyway, the reason why Doreen didn't answer the registered mail was because she became so frightened from the town attorney suing her that she took her money and she went to Vero Beach, Florida and bought a house there.
That's your wife?
Yes, and she said she's not coming back.
Okay.
Okay, so you frightened her out of Riverhead.
Okay.
And I was with her since I was 15 years old.
I'd love to resolve this. I really would. But I honestly think the only way to resolve this is to take that top part off.
I said I'll take the railing off. I'll remove the railing. The rest I need for the bigger house to support that center support structure of the Epiphany Mansion, okay? It needs that center. That's the center of the Epiphany.
Just to be clear, the railing is on the lower decking. It is nowhere close to
No,
the top
the
portion,
railing
right?
is on top with the top over
Can
it.
you go over to
Hey,
the...
Tara, can you get me my laser pointer? It's a good opportunity to use it.
Yeah.
Where's Tara?
Yeah.
Oh, Bill's got his laser pointer. Bill, bring that laser pointer up here. This is
Let's go.
I'm trying to figure out what
interesting.
you're talking about.
Just the front of it. Thank you.
That's not your house, right?
No, that's not his.
It's where it's going. You see, Stromsky knows how to project. The architect is
But that,
he
what
has
you
the
showed us
capability
was
of-
not...
of
that-
projecting.
All right, but that was not your
You can
house.
go over
It's
there.
coming. It's coming.
Okay,
That's the center of this.
You can't even see it.
Okay.
I got a better one. Hold on. Let me bring up the other photo.
I think Bill's laser pointer is.
Where is it? This?
No.
There you go. That's a better picture.
Okay, so
That's the whole house.
I'm thinking I'm going to step down here for a second.
Robert Stromsky's not only an
Mr. Loferno,
architect, he's a planner.
I'm
He's
really
a
trying to
planner.
help you. I'm really trying to help you and help the residents.
Right, yeah, but this is what you can't conceive, is that he plans the house, okay?
So,
If we took this off,
You saw it.
then I can build a bigger house,
Work your way down.
because there's nothing to hold the roof up. This goes in the attic.
how do we solve this?
Once the bigger house is built, this is in the attic, the windows come out. That's only to support the ridge and the roof of that bigger house that he has to bring.
He's building his house from the top down.
That's what Stromsky projected.
What is this?
That's the railing, the safety railing, it's 4 feet high. That comes off. That's only so no one falls off while they're building.
So if you took, so you willing to take all that off?
I'm willing to take that off and put a flat roof on until Stromsky gives me what I paid for. The rest of the mansion, the Epiphany Mansion goes around this whole house. It's all built around that center.
George, that's gonna hold the house up. That's gonna hold the whole house up.
Unfortunately, I gotta see the building. Who knows what they approved?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost looking like,
I can't do anything without,
No, I know.
I can't do anything without a 10K.
it's gonna
Yeah, it should
hit.
be.
Because the building unit shows a
The roof
structure
is
and
gonna
then it
hit
goes
on
up
that
and it's
side
on
and
another
that
level.
side. And if that comes off, I don't care about that. That's only safety. It doesn't even count it. So, only
The paper's all over the place. It'll take us a half an hour to clean up.
That's the boiler for the house. The vents come downstairs. No, it's down in the basement. It's got twin boilers down.
This is, I would let them all get okay.
That house
Wanna
is
hear.
2015.
I got it.
Okay,
So let's control.
So if you would not say, since you're saying the roof
It'll save us going through this.
way all the way out there, right?
Save us going through this next.
Town board, just let, if he could give us an engineer plan that brought this into a pit, you know, a slightly pitched roof here, and that worked, and it was within our height requirements, and it's engineered correctly.
Yeah, the problem is the microlams.
What's that?
Don't fall.
That's where the microlams to hold the weight of the other roof on.
Okay, Mr. Luferto, you have got to bring me the town board and engineer.
I need Robert Stromsky.
I can't help you.
Well, you
What?
have to bring him in. You have to go to him.
How do I bring him in? I say, you
You
come
go
in
to him
now?
and ask
What?
him, and he's gonna charge you to come here. That's between you and him.
He's seeing this. His mother worked in the planning department. Okay, he's a reputable architect.
He's a great guy. Okay,
He
Lex?
was here tonight.
All right,
Oh, he was here?
we can't.
No. So did he stay
I don't think.
to help me? And when I was put in jail, did anyone come and say, you know, why did you put him in jail for trying to build
Mr.
his house?
Luferno, Mr.
Huh?
Luferno, can you, I want to draw your focus now back to this, okay?
I spent 7 months incarcerated.
Mr. Luferno, all right, can we just, I want to bring you back to this point. We want to work with you and the residents, but we can't have an unsafe structure that doesn't meet the building code. So, okay, so, what we're going to do, they're going to bring the building file over here so that we can see the plans you submitted. And what I want to do for the moment, because we have 2 other public hearings that are going to take place today, do you have anything else you want to discuss for the moment?
Yes. Yes, I do.
What is that?
I was denied access to the judge in the Supreme Court.
I can't, that,
And this law is a zoning law from the Congress of the United States. And Congress and
not our
the
code.
Supreme Court has equal powers.
okay, Mr. Luferno, stand by one. Do you want to look at that file, Bob, see if you can figure out what Jeff, unless he's got it directly out?
Stand back.
What, this is what we're doing. What do you think we're here for?
Come on, Jeff, get on the camera.
I need a chance.
Come on, get on the camera.
Okay, so,
I don't want to mess up their file.
And also, there's a flag on top of it now, and it's against that height exemption to lower a flag. So if you want to remove that cupola, you have to lower the flag, so that goes against that town code too as well.
stand by, we're pulling this out. How many residents wish to be heard tonight? Just raise your hand. Okay. No, on this issue. On this issue. Is that 1?
Next door neighbor.
2? Raise your hand, I got 2. 3? 4? Okay.
Okay, and just to add to it, I paid Mr. Stromsky thousands of dollars. I paid the engineer thousands of dollars. And they were supposed to perform.
Okay.
And
What
when
else?
I was locked away, everyone thought it was vacation.
Okay. Mr. Luferno, is there anything new you want to add to this for the moment?
Because it's deceiving the public. It's telling you that I'm the bad guy, and it's not the truth. It's a lie. I'm trying to build my house. I'm trying to use my free will and my freedom of expression on my private property, and government has tied my hands in a straitjacket and threw me into a county correctional facility where they said there's not even a jailable crime for building violations.
Okay. All right. Good.
For 7 months.
Can I bring the other residents up because they'd like to speak on this now?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So unless you have something very specific?
Well, I want them to know that it's not because of me that it stopped. It
Okay.
stopped because the architect didn't come right behind the engineer and the architect that worked together on that cupola. They conspired together, okay? The architect did not come with the surrounding drawing of the rest of the house. And that's why it's sticking up today. But that structure goes in the attic of the surrounding house when the architect gives me what I pay him to perform.
Good.
Okay.
All right. Why don't you have a seat? Can we get, actually, Mr. LaFerno, can you take, because the microphone's going to start feeding back, can you just put those papers, I don't care, put them on the floor, just get them off the microphone?
No, you have the
There's
microphone-
another one on this side.
Microphone right over here.
But how far?
You just got to put that bunch of papers on the floor. There you go, that's good.
Oh, here it is, I got it.
Okay. I can't have this public hearing.
Let's take these and put them over here.
Now, are you the one that said seriously in the newspaper?
No. Mr. LaFerno, Mr. LaFerno.
When they were talking about Jody Giglio's building permits.
Mr. LaFerno?
And you said that that's her business, seriously.
Councilman, could you just come
Huh?
back? Yeah. Okay, Mr. LaFerno, could you have a seat?
Okay.
All right.
You got me.
So,
I was just trying to help.
we would
That's
bring,
all I was doing.
if we could, Mr. LaFerno, please, if we could bring the public, members of the public up, state your name, address, and we're going to swear you in, but up to the podium there. So who would like to go first?
Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
So could you state your name and your address for the record, please?
Christopher Santini, 144 Landing Lane, Baiting Road.
And rather than question and answer, would
No,
you
I'm just
have any
gonna-
problem with him just talking in narrative?
Just if you would speak in narrative would be fine, and
That everyone could understand.
Yes.
and brevity is the better part of clarity.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've been living next door to Mr. LaFerno now for over 13 years. And he's been telling me how he's going to be building a mansion, and I don't know, I heard the name Epiphany thrown out there, I don't know what it's called, but he's going to build this mansion. He's been showing me plans. Subsequently after that, he built that abortion of a structure. I don't know if he has any building permits for that structure, or if he ever had any building permits for that structure. I highly doubt that. It's clear that Mr. LaFerno is using the letter of the law very loosely here. He's pointing to the fact that he built a cupola. That's no coincidence. That's what it says there. He's also making reference to the flag of the United States of America that he's put on top of the structure. And, you know, you can't have me take that down because the flag is there, and you'd have to take the flag down. All I could say is I'm a law-abiding citizen. There's lots of people in this room that could vouch for that. I pay my taxes, I pay my bills, I go to work, I work for my family. I make sure that my home is in nice shape and presented well, as do the rest of my neighbors. If any of you had to live next door to this, I'm sure you would have the same problem that I have with it. So I'm putting my faith in the town board that we will come to a very quick conclusion to this and not waste any more of anybody's time, and make sure that Mr. LaFerno abides by the letter of the law and takes down the structure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Santini. Who else would like to be heard tonight?
I'd also, if I could I submit this? This was someone who could not be here. Could I give this to you?
Yeah, you want to read it into the
Oh,
record?
sure, I can.
I know it's not testimony that we could, but we'll.
This is from Jonathan Cohen, who resides at 136 Landing Lane, who is also a next-door neighbor of Mr. LaFerno. To the members of the Riverhead Town Board, my name is Jonathan Cohen, and I live at 136 Landing Lane, Baiting Hollow, New York. My property is directly adjacent to 136 Founder's Path. On numerous occasions, I have found debris that is blown off from the illegal structures lying on my driveway. I have prohibited my children from playing on the driveway because I am extremely concerned that this will happen again and could wind up being catastrophic. These structures are unsafe, they're dangerous, they're illegal, posing a safety risk not only to the owners of the property, but to the surrounding neighbors as well. I am asking the town board to please approve the Chapter 54 and have these structures taken down immediately before someone gets hurt or even possibly killed. Thank you, Jonathan Cohen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, would anybody else like to be heard? Not, oh, Mr. LaFerno, please. No other neighbors? Okay, we've got, okay, so Bob, one of the other things that I want to make sure we do is, I think it's important possibly for the court records, there's an order from the court that should be put into the record here, and I would like that taken care of. I would like those court records made part of this record
You want
for.
all the court records or just the order?
Well, I think we should just put all the court records into this record, give Mr. LaFerno a copy, and the order as the culmination of a lengthy litigation battle. Now, did we find the plans that were submitted?
They appear to be consistent with what he showed you.
So that is the, okay, so Mr. LaFerno.
It's not stamped,
It's not stamped, but
unfortunately.
it's the same thing he showed, okay,
So it's the same thing I showed you.
which doesn't match. So,
It's stamped by the New York State engineer.
An earlier plan for another part of the house was.
Could I finish my house?
hold on.
We might help you.
Can I ask, how long have you been building your house?
It would have went 1, 2, 3 if the architect would have had the framing plans for the house that goes around the cupola.
No, that's not answering my question.
What?
How long have you been building your house?
I've been building it for, the foundations had to go in, there's steel, there's 23 tons of high-strength steel under those decks to hold the weight of the bigger house.
So what's the answer to the question? When did you start this project?
Has it been 10 years?
15 years ago, 30 years ago?
I think it's been about 6.
Okay.
6 years.
I think 2007. I think it's
And
more
this
like
as far as you got, is what
more
you
like 8
showed
years.
us.
No, not just the cupola.
Because you're saying
It's
that
got the
cupola has
steel
to.
underneath
wait,
the main deck.
You're saying the cupola has to hold up the house.
It has to hold the ridge of the east ridge of the bigger house.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back, put the picture of the house up. Mr. LaFerno, please come up to the picture of your house, because I need you to explain something to me here. Because exactly what I said that could resolve this, you're saying you can't do, but that's what's on your building plans. So, the town board saw a picture of this, so this is, remember I said we put a little reverse
Yes.
cable on there?
And it's in set.
Exactly. So, Mr. LaFerno,
Which is half
this
that
is what
size.
you submitted to the building department. This is so really out of order. But this is, come up here.
Come up here.
Okay, I'm thinking, correct me if I'm wrong. This part of the roof right here, yes, is this part right here, correct? Yes. Okay, so, now, this part in here, this is probably right in here?
No, that's up there.
No, so your roof, the,
Add the heights. 7, right? 4,
That's that.
right?
I might do that. This is
And
like
3.
waterways.
14 feet from here to there. Okay, so 14 feet up from right where it's cut to up there. And
right here. Yeah.
That's what he
And
said.
right
He said,
there.
down here.
And for whatever reason,
He said down
there's
here.
not an elevation,
This
it
is
doesn't
support.
show
This
windows.
just drive around
Yeah, it
looking for
does.
stuff like this.
It shows engineer's height, measurement.
Look,
And it's 14 feet from here to
No,
there.
he said this is
and
supported. He said the
31
wall around it
feet
is gonna lean
to
to
that
that.
platform that the roof of the other house.
This is the bottom.
Okay? So
There's
it
the
adds
whole
up.
thing going up.
It adds up.
It's off a little bit.
This box, okay, follow my, this box,
Height.
this box. So you submitted building permits.
It looks like that.
This part, sort of looks like that.
Yeah.
This part.
Except for it's got
Well,
windows
it's
as a
supposed
courtesy
to
to the
be
neighbors
average grade.
to make it
And
look
the
nice,
got a garage underneath,
because the
so
architect didn't give me
average
the
grade,
plan
calculate
to go
that
around
into
the
Yes,
whole thing and tie it in. Okay, I got
He said
stuck.
put a foundation down here, that's gonna go.
Because I was in jail for 7 months. Huh?
No, so he put the steel on the bottom.
the top of the
Remember what I
building
said?
is not bigger than the structure underneath it. And in
I
here,
told
the
him
top
that
of the
I
building
was
is bigger.
borderline right there, and put a 4-sided hip roof over it.
It's not. It's a hearing. That's what I was thinking.
Jim, you're right. Jim.
Huh?
That belongs right there.
Yeah, but, okay, so why can't we do that 4-side hip roof?
Julie,
That
you
would be
need
the same
something
thing.
too.
No, it's not. This
It's
is
the same, the same height.
Hello.
So, now,
Right, but it's not gonna match Stromsky's design for the rest of the house.
No, that's not-
His angle is coming up like this, it has to match the angle of the other roof when you put around it. Right.
Oh, I don't know, they, that's
has to match.
usually you pay 6.
This mess up here,
That's just a railing, that's a safety railing, okay?
but you haven't put,
And here's what it's on right here.
so,
Okay?
this gable has to be put on this roof.
Up there. No, I can't touch the micro lens because that holds the weight of the.
Okay, so that's what you gotta do.
What?
That's what you gotta do.
Give me a weight. Well, then I can't build another house. Well, I don't tell you how to build your house. And then there's a law that says that cupolas can't be touched.
Okay, so,
If Mr. LaFerno would go to the podium on the question of the cupola, because he made reference to another statute that's out of town. Are you familiar with the town statute for cupola? Have you read our statute? Our
I
zoning ordinance?
showed it to you. You said
That's
that
not the
they
town.
were the similar one.
That is not the town of
It's a
Riverhead.
similar one.
All right.
Mr.
Right,
LaFaro,
but it all comes from somewhere, doesn't it?
Well-
What, everyone makes up their own rules?
No, sir. I'm gonna.
Everyone's got American flag flying
Again,
over.
if you would just
What?
look at it, if you look at what's up on the screen,
Okay.
that's the town of
Well, that's
Riverhead's
what he hit the
zoning
Jones, that's
chapter.
Okay.
And it makes reference to
screwed up, so
cupolas, does it
Right,
not?
right. It
Okay.
says the height limitations of this chapter
All right,
shall
I
not
just told you
apply
that.
to church bias, belfries, cupolas.
Okay,
So
well,
that means you can't lower it.
Mr.
Because
Mr. LaFerno.
Because you're taking the height limitation away.
Mr.
You're
LaFerno.
saying, no, it can't go higher than
Mr.
what it
LaFerno,
says.
I have a question for you. Do you see where it says it's not to be used for human occupancy?
What?
You see where it says it's
Yeah,
not to be
so
used,
I said
okay?
to you that no one goes up there. Close the
Just
door.
have a
Okay,
meeting- just have a meeting
Bob,
with a
Mr.
prosecutor.
LaFerno, come back over here, please.
No one goes up there, it's an ornament.
Okay.
It's a religious ornament called a cupola.
Well, one other question.
And it's freedom of religious
Do you
expression.
see the last sentence? Read the last
And that's
sentence.
where this is going.
Please, do me a favor, read the last sentence out loud, please.
What?
Read the last sentence
He's
out
gotta make
loud.
it look like this.
Yeah.
Okay,
From such.
What?
Such features, read from such features.
Such height as necessary to accomplish the purpose they are to serve.
Okay, so it's supposed to be
Okay, so
limited in
it's gonna
height.
hold the bigger house up. That's what it's saying.
Okay.
It's saying that you can't move.
This,
Okay.
And it's saying that it
Mr.
can be
LaFerno,
used to do something.
Mr. LaFerno, that's the same discussion we've had numerous times.
alright,
It's not,
alright,
I'm just reading what the thing says.
wait.
What are you
Mr.
talking
LaFerno.
about? Saying this guy.
alright, come on. Mr.
Bob.
LaFerno,
Because you make it sound like I'm making it up.
no, you,
Okay?
listen, you got me here. You got us here. Your plans aren't tremendously far off. They're not. What I want from you is an architect.
I need Stromsky. I need him back.
You need to get an architect here. I don't care how you do it.
I paid him the money.
You need to get an architect here
Yes.
to testify, actually, you really need a structural engineer, is my guess.
I
but I'm
need
just a lawyer.
Riley and I need Stromsky
That-
to justify what they did over at 162 Founder's Path.
And that's what you need to do. So.
Why do I need to do it when you pledge allegiance to the flag and say liberty and justice for all?
It
I'm not
doesn't-
even allowed to see the judge.
Mr. Lefferno, it doesn't match. So what we're going to do is we're actually not gonna take any more testimony, miss. We're gonna hold it over. We're gonna hold it over for the next board meeting at 2 o'clock. And if you don't have an architect,
I need Robert Stromsky.
then the board is not gonna have a choice.
I don't
So-
have any more money because Doreen left to Florida. She couldn't take it anymore. And she took the money.
The
All
meeting,
right?
I feel your pain. We will hold this in abeyance. I'm going to adjourn it until, what is the next board meeting?
March 3rd, I think.
First Monday in,
There is no third and
Tuesday,
fourth
March.
story on that house.
Mr. Lefferno, I'm adjourning the meeting to March 3rd for the purpose of bringing our engineer in and your engineer.
Oh, okay, so you'll bring my engineer.
No,
I'm bringing our engineer.
I can't make someone do something that if they don't want to do it, I can't force someone to do it. We're free.
Okay. That's on you, sir.
What, that we're free? That's on me?
That you have to bring an engineer. So, the meeting.
Yeah, freedom. I can't force anyone to do anything.
Mr. Lefferno.
Because they're free too.
Okay, please. Mr. Lefferno, if you could just pack this up, we're gonna reconvene on March 3rd at 2 o'clock, okay?
And to be fair, my architect and engineer, Robert Stromsky and Thomas Riley, should be here to testify to the truth.
That's good.
You're gonna see that happens.
Yeah, how do I see that happens?
All right.
I can't subpoena them.
Mr. Lefferno, thank you very much. Please.
What?
We're gonna hold this meeting over to March 3rd.
Right, but when I asked them to come and they said, I don't want to go there,
We're gonna hold it to March 3rd.
how do I get representation of what the truth is?
Well, we're gonna bring our engineer because now I'm
Right,
interested
but-
to hear what our engineer has to say. Mr. Lefferno, I'm agreeing with you on a very significant point. And I actually think Councilman Gabrielson and Councilwoman Giglio, except for the heights maybe a little off, looked at the plans, the building permit plans you submitted. They're really not that far off from what you built, except you have that flat roof and that mess on the top of it. If that,
Take it off. I'll put a flat roof on there,
no.
waiting for the architect to
No,
give me
you
the
will
bigger
not.
house plan.
No, you will not. You will build what you submitted, and
Okay.
you will have it inspected pursuant to the town
Okay,
code.
also in the meantime, because you stopped everything there for years, the water is damaging my house and destroying it.
Okay.
Because the tops only cover so much protection, and after that, it damages things. Okay, so the town has created a
Can I ask you a question,
damage.
sir?
Huh?
Are you employed? You don't have to answer that, but are you employed?
Am I employed?
Yes. Now, I'm just wondering if we should be looking to have you have some sort of counsel, which is so far afield of what we can do, legal counsel.
This is a full-time job to try to improve your house here. It's a full-time job. How do I have time to do anything else before I worry about the water coming in my house?
Okay, Mr. Lefferno.
Okay? This is a top priority.
Okay. March 3rd, you'll be the continuation of this hearing. We're going to hold it, we're going to adjourn it until March 3rd at 2:05. You'll be the first up. Okay?
Okay, and what do I do? Just ask Mr. Stromsky and Mr. Riley to come in and testify?
Ms. Lewis.
I'll help you outside. I'll just help you get your papers and I'll talk to you about the next meeting. Are these your papers here?
Yes.
I'll
Okay.
help you with them and then I'll help you.
I hope you're not going away. You have
For the
a
next
big
meeting.
suitcase there.
That's all the legal things that I sustained ever since this issue came up. Okay? I was incarcerated for 7 months.
Good.
And when I asked the warden, why am I in here, he says he doesn't know.
Mr. Lefferno,
Huh?
could we just move we gotta move to two other hearings, and for the rest of the public, we're going to adjourn it till
Okay.
March 3rd, 2 o'clock,
Okay, but I need
okay?
Mr. Stromsky and the engineer.
We got it.
To be here to tell the truth.
We got it.
Because no one doesn't want to believe just me.
That's his.
That's his.
Huh?
Let's get your papers together.
Everything on that table is his except for the files and funds.
Yeah, well, that's
all
his.
Yeah, that's all his stuff.
Teeny one.
Okay. We have two more public hearings. I'm going to open the next public hearing. This one stands adjourned. We'll open the next public hearing, which was scheduled for 7:05 as well. And this is a consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 106 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Waterways. Please take notice that a public hearing will be held before the Riverhead Town Board on 200 Howell Avenue, Riverhead, New York, on the 18th day of February at 7:05 p.m. To consider a local law to amend Chapter 106 entitled Waterways of the Riverhead Town Code. It is now
You have your
8:35.
stuff on top of the,
We open that public hearing. Supervisor Kozakovich, that's a Freudian slip. Town Attorney Kozakovich, could you just present a brief synopsis?
It's gonna be very brief, given where we've been so far this evening, and also due to the fact that this legislation has been kicked around a little bit and has appeared in front of the public a couple of times. We're looking to hear from the public with respect to an amendment to Chapter 106. The amendment would add a new article to the current.
Hold on a second, did you get your building permit plan back? Did I hand that back to you?
It's right
The
here.
original one?
This is the one.
No, our file copy.
This is
I
the
don't
one
see
that
it.
we.
Is that mine that want the
Yeah,
picture?
we're gonna give this back.
That one is
That was
the
came
town
out of the
building
file.
department, correct?
He had the shiny one.
He had the shiny one.
This was his.
Yeah, give that back then.
And then you said we could keep a copy of this. This is the one that shows what's there today, right?
I didn't mark it.
You guys got that copy.
Just
It's
give
on
it back
your-
to him. Just give it back to him. We didn't mark it. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks, Mr. LaFerno. I just want to make sure you had all your paperwork. Okay. Mr. Kozakovich. you
Yep,
could
so
continue.
the proposal is to amend Chapter 106, to add a new Article 4 entitled Jetpack Vessels. It's to regulate and address the use of jetpack vessels in the waters of the town of Riverhead. And I'm not going to go through the legislation, it's somewhat lengthy. A lot of it was borrowed or premised upon Maryland interim regulations dealing with the same subject matter. And we're here to hear from the public and hear what's right and what's wrong about the proposed amendment to Chapter 106 to add Article 4, jetpack vessels.
Okay, does anybody wish to be heard on this matter? You could state your name and the hamlet for the record. We're not swearing in.
Not swearing in, thank
we
you.
don't have it on this one.
All right, Glenn Brewster, 34 Howell Lane, right down the block. I just want to, I've been here a couple of times before, I guess under the same similar circumstances.
Could you restate your name?
Glenn Brewster.
Thank you.
I just want to say I support the amendments to the code for a number of reasons. There are environmental reasons, there are quality of life reasons, safety reasons. I'm not an expert on any of those things, except I'm a resident, and like the other resident stated so eloquently, you live in this town, you do the right thing, you go to work, try to keep your place nice, you try to have peace and quiet. Try to do the right thing. I love this town. I wasn't born here. I've lived here since 2001. As we all know, it's not always the easiest place to live. I thought I found a little piece of Riverhead that I could enjoy, hopefully for the rest of my life. My wife and I plan to stay here. And particularly what happens to me is I can't enjoy my yard in the summer, particularly this past summer, since there's a new activity in the river that I'm evidently, not everybody hears, but we're downwind. And if you spend any time on the river, you know the wind blows down river, blows out to the Peconic Bay. I hear Riverhead Raceway, sounds like it's across the river in Southampton on Saturday nights, that's fine. You know, that's part of the town. That's part of the thread of this. That's part of the fabric of this town is the raceway. So okay, I can live with that. But every day from 9 or 10 o'clock till 8 o'clock at night till sundown, listening to a jet ski, going full blast, pushing. You know, we've been here before, so I just want you to know I support this amendment. It's a public hearing. I'm the public. You've heard me. Please vote for this. Please pass this. Please regulate this activity. There's a lot of things that are good about the aquarium. I love that the aquarium is there. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I moved in 2001. The aquarium was just about finished in 2001. And they've gotten everything that they wanted. There's been lots of variances, lots of different things that have gone on. The residents have never said a peep about anything that they've done. Everything pretty much has gone the way they planned it. This one isn't going to go. This has to change. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce.
And I applaud your patience, board members.
Appreciate yours.
Does anybody else wish to be heard on this legislation?
Good evening. I'm Jen Perillo, 111 Riverside Drive, and I've also been here and spoke with my husband. I'd like to have it on the record that this is a holiday week for a lot of people in the neighborhood. We have submitted petitions in the past, which you have a lot of the neighborhood support, and would like to reiterate that that is everybody, those names and signatures support this amendment to go through. Many of the things that Glenn said are also correct. I live right there. I hear everything. I could do almost every karaoke song that there is down at the Hyatt on Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. But you know, that's another story. We can deal with that. You don't want to hear my karaoke. I just want to say that we definitely support the amendment, and you know, I'm sure it's a fabulous, fun, great thing, but you heard the environmental problems. It's a protected estuary. I would like to reiterate that. You have lots of evidence. You've had environmental people in to speak on that accord, and I hope that you can take that in your mind when you vote on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. McAllister? Waterkeeper, right?
Defend H2O.
Defend H2O. Kevin McAllister, founder of Defend H2O. Do you remember the old Abbott and Costello skit, Who's on First? I think I just slipped through that. So. All good.
You and me both.
I'd like to reiterate some points that I've made over the course of several weeks. Again, remind the board of the status of the river being impaired waters relative to too much nitrogen, which has led to chronic algal blooms and subsequent fish kills. I've described the sediments to you. You know this to be true with respect to highly organic. The area is a depositional sink for runoff over the years. Historically, Riverhead, the Peconic River, was a working waterfront. So without certainty, one would surmise, certainly as a scientist, knowing the inputs of pollutants, that the sediments are highly contaminated with unknown toxins. Right now, for the most part, they're lying dormant. I have seen videos of the jetpack operations. Actually, Mr. Bissett appears to be an accomplished rider, but there's no question with the propulsion coming out of these units that it will disperse sediments. Again, being fine sediments being put up into suspension, the turbidity levels will be very high. Releasing, again, the organics in the water column will potentially lead to very likely lead to more algal blooms. We have experienced a number of harmful algal blooms when we start to getting into more of the toxic algae that's been present. So, you're talking potentially releasing algae that could cause public health concerns as well. I've argued that the river is really no place for this operation. Again, there's no question. I mean, the rider itself is immersed in the water column. When the propulsion occurs to lift up and out of the water, that jet is really blowing up bottom. I see from the legislation you're trying to, ultimately give consideration to separation from structure and shoreline. I believe 300 feet, excuse me, if I'm not mistaken. And also some consideration for adequate water depths, probably to address the potential for turbidity at 6 feet, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not certain if that's adequate. And again, I would strongly recommend that as far as a point of demarcation, and similar to how the state of New York views some of the shellfish grounds, physical landmarks. So I encourage the board through tailoring this legislation that you actually move the operation further east beyond Iron Point across to, say, Indian Island Park. That would be a good point of landmark. I'm not certain Flanders Bay, the greater Flanders Bay, has water depths adequate to minimize turbidity problems, but I will tell you the sediments as you get into the open bay and a greater mouth of the river, now you're starting to get into more coarse sands that would be likely to drop out of suspension very quickly. More so than when we get into, again, those fine, the fine silts that are within the river corridor. So I know you're trying to perhaps strike a balance, but things, and particularly when it comes to science, and in this case, this is pretty black and white. Operation within the river corridor, if it's in fact blowing bottom, it's going to be problematic and leading to the water quality degradation that I described to you. Low DO levels and potentially triggering algal blooms and subsequent fish kills. So, do the right thing and move it out beyond the river proper, and hopefully the impacts out there will be minimal. And if you want to call compromise or striking a balance, that would be my recommendation to this board. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry for cutting you off before.
That's all right. I was trying to cut that off. Pamela Hogarth, 129 Riverside Drive. I've missed these other previous discussions on the waterways, and I don't really have much other to contribute other than I wanted to lend my support. I do think I did a little Googling of flyboarding, and they seem to, the environmental issue is something that the communities are looking at strongly. I really am very pleased that you've been here and supporting that, because we do need people that understand that and will bring this to the attention. I'm sure it is to your attention. The amount of time that we spent on this cupola, which is nowhere near what was presented, I think if we're to allow certain things, then we set precedents. So I would ask you to please think very strongly and clearly on what you may be offering to the town. The aquarium has been a good neighbor. However, there has to be times when it doesn't always follow the full, what's my word, folks? Pardon me?
It's ownership. It's agenda.
if that's the right word. However.
We got the point, we understand.
Okay. So, please take that into strong consideration, and
Thank
that's
you.
it.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening. Bill Toder from the North Fork Environmental Council. I know that you've received my letter, and I thank you for that. I do want to thank you for the time and the effort you've put into this. It's shown that you really thought this through, and while we're not always in agreement on things, I do support the amendment. I do also support Kevin's comments about trying to find more solid ways of landmarking this, both for enforcement purposes, but also moving it out of the organic bottom and moving it to a more sandy soil. I think that's very important when we're looking at the environment and the ecology of the system. So I hope you'll take that under consideration. He makes very good and strong points, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hi. Beth Peterson, 17 Madison Street. I don't believe I signed the neighborhood petition that went around, and I just want to register that I agree with the other people from the Riverside Drive area that what's been going on has not been optimal. And personally, just from a safety standpoint, I just don't think that where they've been trying to do flyboarding is quite the right place. I think it needs more space. And that's my issue. I really think we need to preserve quality of life in our community, and we all want to enjoy the water, but let's do so safely. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to be heard?
Good evening. My name's James Bissett. Just for going back to what you said about the safety. Safety's there. That's my number one concern. Always has been. I've said this millions of times. There's been plenty of room out there. Obviously, going toward. I'm not out there to hurt the waterways. Obviously, we have people here that know it better than I do. So I'm not looking to disrupt the bottoms with the nitrogen or the oxygen levels. With the years going past, maybe the water is rising with thousands of boats. Maybe that'll lead into possible dredging of the river, but that's a whole nother concept for you guys to handle. I'm just asking you to work with me a little bit on the regulations, the 300 feet. Give me 300 feet from any residencies, because obviously that's been the major problem here. I'm seeing, from any shores or docks or anything like that. It's obviously a fun sport people like to watch. So if we can cut that back down to 200 feet. Like you said, it's not physically possible for a flyboarder to go any further than, let's say, 70 feet away from where they are flying. So if we can come to agreement on lessening those distances on those regulations. Let's see. That's pretty much it. Going through, I'm sure they've done testing on the waters. I don't know how much the one flyboard has effect on that. But other than that, and the 5 mile an hour zone, that's another thing. Obviously it keeps me out of the river. If you guys wanted to do that, no problem. But obviously we're not going for over 5 mile an hour. Other than that, I'm just here to help the town grow, bring people from out of town into this great town that we have here. There's not too many attractions that bring out of state. I've had people from Connecticut, New Jersey, all over the place come hours just to have a half-hour flight session. And I want them to enjoy the town, give them the restaurants, and really show them what Riverhead is and what hopefully will be in the future. Like I said, I'm a part of this town, so I'm here to work with you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Does anybody else wish to be heard? Okay, not hearing anybody, I'm going to close the public hearing and leave it open to written comment until, what do we have here? What is today? 18th, to the 27th at 4:30 in the town clerk's office. All right, we have a third public hearing, which was scheduled for 7:15. It is now 7:51. 8:51, sorry. And this is, I open the public hearing for the consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 108 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Family, word definitions, usage, family. And Bob, you just want to say a word or two about this?
Yeah, this came out of the code revision meetings. There was some discussion about our description of a family as contained in the zoning ordinance. There was also a question that was brought to us by general code as part of the review that's been going on. And this proposal is to make the definition consistent with and same as that's presently in our rental ordinance. So that's the proposal.
All right, does anybody wish to be heard on this? Okay, not hearing anybody, we'll leave it, close the public comment portion and leave it open to written comment, 4:30 in the town clerk's office on February 27th. Does anybody wish to be heard on resolutions? Not seeing anybody. Julie, can we take up the resolutions?
Resolution 118.
Authorizes funding application to Suffolk County support enhanced sewer infrastructure at FPL subdivision. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 119.
119 authorizes supervisor to execute notice of termination with Riverhead Water District and SMSA Limited Partnership. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted.
So skip to one.
Or do we skip to the committee?
121, 122, or no,
Okay.
123.
123.
Resolution 123.
This amends resolution number 100. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 124.
Appoints an assessment clerk. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes, she was hired as a temporary. She's on a list, and now we're appointing her permanently.
Walter.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 125.
Accepts the resignation of a part-time police officer. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes, sorry to see him go.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution
Sorry to
126.
see him go from here. Accept the resignation of part-time police officer. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
This was a fine officer. He's going to work someplace else,
Southampton Village.
so I have to vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 127.
This terminates the employment of a crossing guard in the Riverhead Town Police Department. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 128.
Extends bid contract for signage. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 129.
Ratifies the calling clerk to the Recreation Department. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
I'm going to vote no because this doesn't specify the number of hours per week she could work.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
I'm going to vote yes. She's a call-in.
Right.
That means she may work 1 hour, 2 hours,
Or no hours.
or no hours
Or
a week.
30 hours or 40
So,
hours.
I mean, it's just a call-in. I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 130.
ratifies the appointment of a call-in recreational aide to the Recreation Department. So moved.
And I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
I'm gonna vote no again because it doesn't specify the number of hours. It could be 40 hours, 50 hours, or 60 hours.
Gabrielson.
I think typically on these call-ins, we never do specify the hours because we never, don't know when we need them.
That's right.
Maybe somebody
And
out.
they're working a
So
lot
it's
more
typical,
hours. They're
but this is the
working
way it's been
full-time.
done.
They're working full-time.
Yes.
Wooten.
$8.75 an hour, I don't know. Yes.
Dunleavy.
Again, she's a call-in. She can work any hours that we need her. So I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 131.
Authorizes annual stipend for Raymond Corn. So moved.
Unseconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
No.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
I'm gonna vote yes. He's been doing a good job in the extra work that he's been doing, for the parks and for the youth bureau. So I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 132.
Approves request for parentage leave of absence. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 133.
Authorizes the retention of the law firm of Stephen Lasquadro. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 134.
Authorize the supervisor to execute polling place agreements with the Suffolk County Board of Elections. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 135.
Approves the Chapter 90 application of Multisport Soldier LLC for the CrossFit Athletic Competition on May 16, 2015. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 136.
Authorize supervisor to execute professional services agreement with East End Accounting Services Corp. So moved?
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
No.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 137.
Resolution to extend no-proton agreement with Riverhead Volunteer Ambulance Corps. So moved and seconded.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 138.
Authorize the supervisor to execute agreement with Riverhead Youth Sports Incorporated for referee umpire services for the town of Riverhead Police Athletic League, girls and boys lacrosse, and football programs for 2015 calendar year. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 139.
139 awards bid for water service materials for use in the Riverhead Water District. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 140.
Extends bid for dry hydrated lime as calcium hydroxide for Riverhead Water District. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted. Resolution 141.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post a notice to bidders for well and pump testing, evaluation reporting, and information management. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 142.
Who's this?
142?
Yeah.
Authorize town clerk to publish and post notice for bidders for rebid of water service materials. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Well, I don't understand this one. 139, we awarded a bid for water service materials for use in Riverhead Water District. and now will authorize the town clerk to publish and post notice for bidders for rebid of water service materials.
Oh, it's different, I think it's different.
Are they just,
No, it's different.
are they different?
Yeah, the 139,
Maybe it covers thread tab, stuff like that, Yoki valves.
yeah, the different stuff. Because 139, you got Blackman Plumbing, Ferguson, yeah, this is other stuff that they use. See if it
Means
lists it.
it covers yoke, okay. That's why I'm asking.
This is for gate valves, hydrant tees, hydrant extensions. The other was not that.
Okay.
So your vote?
If it's different, I vote yes.
Walter?
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 143.
143. I'm gonna move the table. Like this authorizes supervisor to execute a professional services agreement with the Tackett Cahill Group. I think the board stands firm on their presentation, and I think they're a viable company, but I know that a lot of the board hasn't vetted it, and just out of respect for my colleagues, I'd like to discuss it, maybe be a little more transparent about it. And it's a great group, I know they've been wheeling, but if we could just put this off for one meeting, we can always make it retroactive if we have to. So I'd like to move the table.
Okay, I second the table.
I
Moved
got,
and seconded as the table vote,
I
please.
got a question.
Okay.
Say we're gonna table this, I just wanna ask, one question. It says here, and brokerage services subject to town's reservation of rights to negotiate for a lease or sale to identify buyers and limit of 4.5 commission for
Right.
brokerage service. Now, is that the highest or the lowest, or is
Highest.
that what they're
No,
gonna charge?
that was
That's the highest.
cap.
So we can, when you negotiate, you can negotiate for a lower than 4.5,
Yeah, as the numbers go up,
right?
if we sell it for 100 million, you can negotiate it
Well,
for less, yeah,
Is that true? No.
you can negotiate it.
No.
No, it's a blended rate. The way I look at it, at 4.5%. The state of New York just awarded Cushman Wakefield 9%.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And Newmark, Knight, Lewis, whatever they are, 9%. We came up with 4.5%.
Which is actually bargained
Which
for,
is,
because they came in a little higher than that.
No,
which
the
is a
9% is
very-
ridiculous.
Which is a very good rate, and it is not just real estate brokerage services.
Oh, no, I think.
Well, I know they're gonna market it.
They're gonna
And-
market it, they're gonna
Right.
vet different entities.
Oh, I think we were impressed with their presentation, I have no problem with it.
The only difference between this and what they said is we talked to them about 4%, they settled on 4.5%. I don't think anything really changed about it.
No.
So it's about 0.5%, so we moved, I don't know why anybody's tabling it, it's what we've been
I only
discussing.
moved the table out of respect for my colleagues who might not have been, like this all happened during the
We
week,
should,
we haven't had a public meeting,
it should,
right?
Okay,
Yeah,
well, moved
okay,
and
so
seconded,
it's-
that's
Well,
the
we
table.
discussed it when they were here.
We didn't,
we didn't discuss
I vote-
this,
Huh?
Yes, we did.
not the percentage.
I thought, this
Absolutely
is,
did.
again, this
No,
is
no,
something
the
that
final
we have to
four
get
and a
done,
half
and we
is
can
not
just take
discussed.
long talking about it. and we'll get
But
started.
anyway, we have a move to table it. All I think the board's asking for a further discussion, that executive on the terms and whatnot. We'll probably land on this, we may very well, but
Absolutely, I think-
at that point, I think we have it, if they wanted to move
Moved
further
and
discussion.
seconded as the table, vote on tabling it.
Giglio.
yes,
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
No.
Walter.
No.
Okay, the resolution is tabled.
So going through
Resolution 144.
Extends bid contract for disposal, recycling of municipal solid waste. So moved.
second,
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
yes,
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 145.
rejects bid proposals and authorizes town clerk to republish and repost notice to bidders for disposal and recycling of municipal solid waste, so moved.
And second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution 146.
Motion to pay the bills, so moved.
I'm on second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter. is adopted.
All right, does anybody wish to have any conversations with the town board about any matter? No, it's the same one, there's no, it's the same, it's just the Pataki
I make a motion that we close the town board meeting. So moved.
Moved and seconded, vote please. All in favor, aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries, we stand adjourned.